couple of weeks ago, on August 16th, near LeGrand, Oregon State Police dug up the gravesite of an unidentified woman whose body was first found decades earlier. Investigative reporter Alex Duggan learned this Jane Doe could be the link to a missing woman from Idaho who disappeared exactly 46 years ago today. And you'd think it would be an easy connection to make, but this cold case is missing a major clue.
On August 31st, 1976, a Lewiston, Idaho woman named Patty Lee Otto went missing. She was last seen wearing red pants and a white shirt. 2 years later, deep inside a forest outside LeGrand, Oregon, hunters found a woman's remains in a shallow grave near Finley Creek. The Jane Doe was blonde, wearing red pants and a white shirt. The medical examiner estimated she was killed 2 to 5 years earlier, was likely in her 20s, and several months pregnant. Patty's daughter, Suzanne Timms, believes that Jane Doe is her mother.
Here's my mother at 16 years old. You can see this is 1968. She says Patty's Christmas time.
How did Patty die? Suzanne believes she was strangled at the hands of her father, who's now dead, and she says at 3 years old that she witnessed it.
He came at her and wrapped his hands around her throat and pushed her up against the wall. And I immediately knew this was not good. I didn't know what was happening, but I was frightened. And as he was pushing her and dragging her away, I ran back downstairs. I was crying and told my sister I was scared because I didn't know what was happening, but I knew it was bad.
Patty's parents reported her missing 2 days later. She was 24.
This body is wearing red pants, red knit pants, not red satin pants, red knit pants, and a white blouse, which is what my mother was last seen in.
The resemblance in the composite made up of Jane Doe by Redgrave Forensics is too similar to ignore. It's a near perfect match to Patty and her daughter Suzanne.
The body that was found here that had been exposed by the elements in 1978 was estimated to be between 5'2" and 5'4", and my mother's 5'3". Dirty blonde hair, estimated to be like 120 to 140 pounds, same as my mother.
A state medical examiner used dental records in 1978 to determine that Patty Otto was not the Finley Creek Jane Doe. But Suzanne found the documents, and she says the expert mistakenly compared Patty's records to a different Jane Doe found in Portland. The Jane Doe found in LeGrand was missing a wisdom tooth on her right side. Patty's dental x-rays show she was most likely scheduled to have that same tooth removed. Suzanne also believed her mother was pregnant, just like the Jane Doe in LeGrand, based on medical records. Another odd coincidence, Suzanne married the son of one of the hunters who first discovered the body of Jane Doe. She discovered the connection only last year.
This is the spot that my father-in-law identified as what he remembers where the body was found when they were hunting in 1978.
Fast forward to 1990, Oregon State Police and the Union County District Attorney decided to cremate Jane Doe's remains and have the evidence destroyed because the case was too old, even though DNA testing was in its infancy. That means today there is no DNA to compare Patty to. But a group of volunteers called the Finley Creek Jane Doe Task Force brought cadaver dogs to the site this year to try and sniff out any remains that may have been undiscovered. They hit on multiple spots. That got the attention of Oregon State Police.
We've got Redgrave Research Forensic Services who did the forensic art for her that Suzanne recognized and thought it was herself.
Melinda Jeterberg formed the task force after researching unidentified women in Oregon. Melinda has a background in criminal justice and research. She assists the task force in the investigation and wants to find out the identity of Jane Doe because she too believes that it's Patty.
We've got other researchers and people who just have connections and know how to find things. And so it's been really great. So we're all invested in this 100%. The last time I was here, we brought the dogs up here and both of them alerted there was water running through here. So they both came into the water, stuck their faces in, and let their handlers know that there was something here to be found. So the dog handlers flagged it, and we did have a state trooper here at the time with us, and so he observed it.
Just a few weeks ago, Oregon State Police went out to the site where the Finley Creek Jane Doe was found in August of 1978 because cadaver dogs hit on the grave site. They did not find any human remains, but they are continuing to investigate despite the lack of evidence found at the site. So the once closed cold case is active once again, only there's no more evidence at the moment for DNA comparison.
It's honestly extremely overwhelming, and today it just feels worse because I really wanted to find something, and here we are with all this exposed area, and I can't identify her without one shred of DNA.
But Suzanne isn't giving up on figuring out what happened to her mom. The next step is to convince forensic experts to match reports of the dental records together. They do not have the original x-rays, only a written description, so they are being cautious with their evaluations.
I just feel like she's calling me to bring her home, and that she's like, I've been trying to help you this whole time, and I'm listening.
Alexandra Duggan, Idaho's News Channel 7.
At the time of the report, OSP had no further comment about the investigation or the dental records that were just mentioned, but we will keep you updated as we learn more.